happy that we are going to be actually launching. I must say we are going to be launching because this is the very first training about this product, right? Who of you has ever sold this product? Wow. So you people are actually ahead of the syllabus, isn't it? You are ahead of the what? Of the syllabus. Now what you're going to do today is what? It's a review, right? So that means if you sold 1, 2, or 3 tins, by the end of this training, I bet you're going to sell more than 10, 15, or even 20 tins, right? So thank you so much for taking that lead in selling even when you had very little knowledge about the what? About the product. So straight to our training of today, we are saying OQATA product, and what is the main topic? The immune kiddie gummies, right? The immune kids gummies, okay? Why do they say that? Immune. Connect the word immune, then the kids, then of course it is in form of what? What are gummies? Pardon? Well, that one says sweets, that one says chewing gum, that one says whichever, okay? A gum, you know what a gum is, right? But then ours is in form of a chewable gummy. It is so crunchy, it is so tasty, it is sweet that the moment you get the tin in your hand, trust me, by the time you are finishing this training, that tin would have what? Would have gotten finished because it tastes really, really nice. Okay? And that is in form of gummies. We have so many different formulations of medication. There are tablets, there are capsules, there are caplets, and they're also what you call the gummies. Okay? Well, that is how it appears. It's a very clear tin. Sorry, I don't have a display here. Who has the kiddie gummy with them? Okay, that's not a problem. It is in form of, it has a tin, but the tin is so clear that even when you see it from a distance, you easily see what is inside and get attracted to it. Are we together? Yes. So, manufactured by that, at creation, one of our best. Okay? But then, we are going to go straight to what it is all about. We are saying a precious time of being a child. Trust me, day in, day out, I would want to go back to being a child. Are we together? The way my mother pampered me, the way they kept calling me to eat this, the way if I'm refusing to eat something, they say, please kindly do it. Are we together? But trust me, at the age I am in, if I don't want to eat something, what would they say? They said, after all, you are an adult, you can take care of yourself. Are we together? But again, it's not the same story with a child. You know very well, I always keep telling these stories, that health is manufactured from home, okay? By the food we eat, by the water we take, by everything possible we do, the environment, the sanitations and everything, we are doing what? We are manufacturing health. But trust me, just like any other car moving on the road, we get broken, okay? When we break down, what happens? Thank you so much. Please, can I give a very big round of applause? There is a reason why she's actually a very global leader. Are you together? There is a reason. I'm sure she's selling this a lot. Now, this is what it is. There is a reason why they put the paper, the description, the explanation about it, but there's a reason why they left that small space. Are we together? So that you're able to see what is inside. It looks like berries. You know those wild berries? Me, I come from the village. We could leave early morning and go in the village and going to do what? To pick berries. And trust me, you would want to spend the entire day in the what? In the bush, because you're looking for berries. Now, this is how our kiddie gummies look like. If you've ever gotten your hands on it, fine and good. But trust me, if you've never tried even getting closer to it, you're doing yourself a very big disfavor. In fact, not just touch on it, but have the time to taste what it is. Don't recommend what you don't know. Are we together? The moment you're going to tell somebody, take it for your child. Mothers who are here, have you ever tried giving it to your child? Are we together? I've seen this happening with us, the medical personnel, that we keep recommending good things for other people, but we never do what? Take care of ourselves. We are never our own clients. Okay, this is kirigamis for us. But again, back to our stories of how we manufacture health from home. When we break down, when you have headache, when you have pain, body pain, when you have anything unusual in your body, what happens? You rush to the hospital. Are we together? Why do you think we are going to the hospital? We are going to the hospital so that we can repair the broken what? Health. If you have headache, you rush straight away to go and get what? Panadol. Are we together? It is as early as 8:20, but I'm seeing some gentlemen sleeping already. I wonder whether we are in the right what? Are we together? I don't know whether the training is now entering deep inside or they're meditating. I have no idea. But ladies and gentlemen, we go to repair health. We pick Panadol, we pick amoxicillin, we pick ibuprofen, whichever we pick for whichever condition we have, we are focusing on repairing health. What happens? When it is repaired, you rush straight back home. Life goes on. But you realize, way back, there were no amoxicillin, there were no paracetamol, there were no any other pharmaceutical medication. People were using the roots. Are we together? The fruits. But even when we break down, I used to see when I was growing up, if you have pain in the ears, this mother, this judger, will pick a leaf and fold it in a way and put cotton in it. And remember, this is not even the manufactured cotton. This is not cotton from the factory. They just go to the garden and pick a cotton because we plant cotton. They put it in that what? In that small leaf, and they get some medicine. They drop on the what? On the cotton. And you know what they'll tell you? Mommy will tell you, please come on here and put you to lie. And then put that drop in your ears. 30 minutes later, you're jumping and running around like you were not sick in the last 30 minutes. Are we together? All those are mechanisms to do what? To repair life or to repair health at home. Okay? Until then, when the pharmaceuticals came in and everything changed to, yes, I have headache, I knock myself, and this and that, to straight away run to the pharmacy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at the precious time a child has. All that experience a child goes through in the hands of the parents, in the hands of the mother, in the hands of the guardians. Are we together? Great. Now that you are a mother, you know very well that this child is undergoing a growth stage. This child, when you give birth to this child is not going to grow in 1 day or 2 days. There's going to be a lot of processes for a child to get to your age. Are we together? But you're saying there is much more to do with the brain. The growth of the brain. And they're saying the brain that makes who? That makes you. That makes the child. That makes whoever is here. What age do they say the brain fully develops? At 5 years. Who has a child less than 5 years? Madam Shamim, I know you're one of them. You don't have to raise your hand. Who else? Dennis, congratulations. Yes, he has one. Any other person who has a child less than 1 year, this is the right time you should focus on their brain development. Okay? A number of times, we just do the usual. We don't care what is the future of this child. But we start doing that before they reach the age of 5. Support the brain, support how they think, support how they behave, support how they do all their things. Frontal lobe dominance establishes at that age. Okay? This is what we call the frontal lobe. The full establishment happens at the age of 5. But also saying, brain is very adaptable. Why? Memory that gets in the brain gets stuck there. We all have passed in the childhood stages. But I'm very sure your best game, your best plays, whatever happened, the best that happened in you or with you at the age you are growing, you still remember them. Are you together? Why? because the brain is able to adapt and the memory is able to stay stuck there. And we are saying it also controls academic and more complex activities. That is the brain. You give a child an activity, you give a child an assignment, whichever you tell this baby to do, they will be able to cope and do it. Why? Because of the brain. It is able to keep that for so long. If the brain was not having that ability to keep or memorize for longer, we would not know that last week we had what? Last week, but one we had an event. Who would know? No one would know. You will not know that you woke up in the morning, you even showered. All you will remember is that we are here and training about kirigamis. And every statement I make will just pass by like that. But we're saying because of the potential of the brain, it is able to memorize things of long ago. Okay? Now, two things. We talked about the brain development, but we're also going to talk about immunity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are focusing on this child. We know the brain has to develop, but in one or the other, we know that the immunity has to be strong enough. How are you going to be able to boost this child's immunity? Okay? I'm just saying the immune system or the immunity system, complex formation and maturation. You realize that the immunity is built up depending on how you expose yourself to the environment. Are we together? OQATA, OQATA. Those who are sleeping, wake up. Tomorrow they're going to ask you why do I have to give immunity kits. Okay? So, we are saying allergies and hypersensitivity are partly regulated within the immunity. What do we mean? If this place is having a lot of dust, some of us would end up sneezing, others will get cold and flu, others will get cough, right? But the moment the body realizes that, yes, this is a very dusty environment, I have to build an immunity against this dust. Are we together? What happens? The body crafts an immunity. Okay? There is a reason why when a child is playing in the dust out there, when the child is in the mud, somehow, you don't have to pick a stick and beat them. You know why? It is a mechanism that the body is going to realize this child is in danger. What do I need to do? I need to build an immunity against that danger. Are we together? But again, it is not a reason for you to go and expose a child to that. You should be one person to protect this child from that, because it can be much more than when the body can even manage to build its immunity against. Ladies and gentlemen, antibodies form, immune memories also form. We have grown through childhood to where we are today. How many of you have ever suffered from malaria? Maybe everyone. Are we together? But you realize that a number of times you expose yourself to mosquitoes, okay? At the moment you expose yourself to mosquito, not every bite of a mosquito actually gives what? Malaria. Why do you think so? Because the immunity is able to remember that the moment you are bitten by mosquito, we should craft an immunity to repel that what? That parasite. Are we together? It is the same thing that the body stores an immunity that is able to fight or remember that, yes, there's a dust here, I need to craft an immunity that is going to repel this child from getting cold and flu. Are we together? Are we learning? Yes. Also, children get so exposed to germs and allergens. You can never stop a child. For example, school-going children. Actually, almost 98% of the diseases children get are from where? From schools. Are you together? So, the moment this child is exposed to these germs, bacteria, and the allergens, then it is still the body's immunity that is going to be in position to remember, say, no, there was one time I suffered from this. and I build this particular immunity against this. What am I going to do when I'm attacked? By this what? By this allergen, by this germ, or by this bacteria. Are we together? So it remembers that there is danger, and then they bring back the what? The immunity. Now, we all have children, those who have. And we're saying what a child needs most as a toddler. The growth of a child is much more determined by the parent or the caretaker. Are we together? If you know very well that your child, you have, let's say, maybe a 3 months, 6 months, or less than a year old child, and this child is on bottled milk or powdered milk, you realize it is you to keep the high level of hygiene so that this child is able not to contract any infection. But we are saying what a child needs most is what we call balanced diet. Are we together? And what do we mean by balanced diet? We mean a diet that is able to have number 1, number 2, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 4. Do we have omega-3? Amazing. Number 5? And B12. Ladies and gentlemen, for some reason, where do you think you will get all this? Okay? Where do you think you will get all these every single day? Is it possible? You're going to look around, go to Nakasero, get a folate. You're going to go to Kalerwe, you're going to pick iodine. You're going to go probably maybe to where? To Nakawa, you're going to pick iron. And you realize, no, I can get B12 in Entebbe. And you rush to Entebbe and go and pick B12. Is it going to be possible? Would you even get it? Where do you think they sell B12? Maybe not. But we're saying all this should come from what? From a balanced diet. Are we together? Ladies and gentlemen, we are saying all these are necessary for the myelination of nerves, cognitive functions. Cognitive functions is the ability of the child to remember. Myelination of nerves is when you see the neurons. In our body, we have what you call neurons, okay? They are what transmits any sense, communications. It is what tells you you're having pain in your leg, and you're able to know what is happening there. They are the neurons. They transmit information, okay? So, what does this do? They actually thicken the neurons, okay? And build up an immunity for this child. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to do? We are saying the toddler's aversion to fruits and aversion means a dislike. Okay? Like we are saying the toddler's dislike. You bring a fruit to a child will shake their head, they don't want to take. Are you together? You bring nakati, we all know nakati, right? Which child have you ever seen liking nakati? Say, Mommy, please serve for me nakati. Never. Are you together? Cabbage. You put a cabbage on the plate of a child, they will keep dodging until they eat their food and they leave the cabbage on the plate. Are we together? So we are saying toddlers they never want. Have you ever seen toddlers liking lemon? Cut a lemon, put it in the mouth of a child or a young toddler. Will you see their reaction? Trust me, the next time you try it, a child will feel like they should even box you off. Why? Because it is by nature that they don't like fruits and vegetables. Why so? Their taste buds are always triggered to sweet things. Breast milk are very sweet. Okay? Breast milk, I know we have forgotten how it tastes. Some of us have forgotten. Well, if you can still remember, and especially if you're a man and you can still remember, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you get key nutrients to a child at the time that you need it the most. How? We know very well we can never run to Nakawa, can never run to Kelerwe, or not Nakasero, or anywhere else to get the multivitamin that we talked about. But you know very well that this child, by all means, every single day has to take what? These multivitamins. What do we do then? But we're saying the fact that they fear what we call neophobia. Children fear new food. Okay? Phobia means fear in the medical setting. And we're saying neophobia. And the moment you bring something new to a child, okay, you know what a child would do? Most of them are very, very smart. They would first pick it, look at it, and before they put it in their mouth, they would first smell it. Are you together? Just because it's something new. I imagine you've just weaned this child, you've removed the child from breast milk, and you're bringing, let's say, soup or a smashed potato, and you're giving this child. Trust me, the first taste, the child will run away. And you never succeed in giving more than 3 spoonfuls to this child. Why? Because it is something new. Their preferences are also in texture, how they feel it, how they touch it. When you look at kitty gummies, the moment a child touches it, it is so smooth and it feels like it's attractive to them. And because of the texture. I also talked about the taste. Most children love sweet things. If you tell a child, please, go and what? Go and brush your teeth. I'm going to give you sweets. In less than 3 seconds, the child is back. Are we together? They brush so fast because they are touching a feeling of sweet. Sweet is attached to good things. And trust me, I used to have a friend, if you have a sweet in the pocket, Azira will testify with me, if you have a sweet in the pocket, the moment you put your hands tap like this, and they hear the noise of a cavera, you're going to be a friend to that person. That's noise, they just use the noise of the cavera. They're so sensitive to the noise of the, and particularly for the sweet. Are you together? So sweets are always attached to good things, and hence children attach it the most. Then parents influences. And also, forcing a child makes them fear and resist. Ladies and gentlemen, even when you bring this, at first they might think it is medicine. Okay? And you also have to give them the liberty to understand that they also have a decision to make. Gone are the days where our parents would be sitting next to you with one pair of sandals and they've given food in your hand. You would ask yourself, what is the use of that sandal? I already have food in my hand, but what is the use of the sandal? An African child would understand very well. And you can never make any nonsense of what? Of joking with that food. Are you together? That is for us Africans. But when you go to the other outside world, they will give you options. Okay, maybe the child is called Arnold. Arnold, do you want to brush your teeth right now? And then we do our homework. A mother will wait there for 5 minutes waiting for this child to decide. Are you together? Can an African child wait? I mean, can an African mother do that? Shamim. So, until then, a child will say, okay, mommy, can we first finish with my homework? And I go and brush. Are you together? And then you're going to give them. Number one, it is okay for them to decide. You're not forcing them. But you're saying the moment you pick your sandal, you're doing a homework, and the child has to brush. I told you to go and brush. Before you know it, the sandal is on the back of this child. Are you together? So, by the time you force them, they will never like it. And the moment you push them and push them and push them, it makes them hate what you're pushing them for forever. I used to see a child who was pushed. This mother was working, but a child was on tin milk, okay? The formula. This child was practically squeezing between the legs to see that they take what? This milk. By the time a child reaches 5 years, 6 years, they hated what milk were like. Why? Because of the experiences they went through. Are we together? And this is an African mother. Let's give a hand of applause for African mothers. We can never avoid to be who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, why children like mainly sweet things? Yeah, we've been talking about this. Why do they like sweet things? Earlier we said breast milk is always sweet. So their buds, their taste buds, have been programmed to only sweet things. Give a child tea without sugar. Trust me, by the time they're struggling to take like even a quarter of that, then you'd have struggled. Evolution, priming. Nature associates sweetness to what? Yes. Nature definitely, anything tasty and sweet, trust me, they have a level of what? Of calorie in them. Why do we always keep telling people, please and please avoid sugar? And people will be telling you, know what? I don't take the industrial sugar. But I do fruits, I do sugar cane. Is there anything sweet in it? Is it from nature? What does it associate it with? Calories. So you know very well, the moment you're taking, even if it is fruits, there's a level of sugar in it. Are we together? Ladies and gentlemen, dopamine release. Child feels pressure and feels good. Feels pleasure and feels good. There is a way they realize or they feel good after you've given them sweets. Are we together? You give tea, they taste there's no sugar, they reject it. 5 seconds later, you put sugar and give to them, they feel the world belongs to them. Ladies and gentlemen, we're also saying the body demands more. Where do we derive energy from? Energy is basically derived from glucose or sugar. We are saying that sugar isn't so bad, but it is bad to a higher level. And you know very well that the moment, let's say maybe you're too much active, I always see it, the moment I come on stage, yes, I keep talking, but little did I know that talking releases a lot of energy. Okay? And by the time you're going backstage, trust me, you're almost collapsing. I always see with our top leaders, they come closing a meeting. By the time somebody is reaching to where they're supposed to see, they feel like they should fly. Why? Because they've been using a lot of energy, and this energy is associated always to glucose. Okay? Then, sweets have been associated with positive experiences, and this increases preferences. Okay? I wish I had sweets here in my training. Okay? And I ask one question. Even if you don't know the answer, and I tell I'm going to give you sweets, you'd rather give the wrong answer, isn't it? But for you to get what? To get the sweets. Are you together? So in our experiences, sweets are always to give us what? Better preferences. Which is not a bad thing anyway. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, let's go forward and see. Can you give a whole big round of applause for this product? 1 year ago, we've been crying as the HPCs that please and please, can you give us a product that can cut across? That you know, the moment you're giving omega-3, you can never fail to give this product. That you know, the moment you're giving these other ones, you can never fail to give this. And thank God, our questions or our cry were answered by what? Immunicaries. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to go deeper in it and understand what exactly is in this product. Okay? And now, our cry is what that particular product we can give for adults. Adults can benefit from this, but mainly the children benefit the most. Okay? So, immunity gummies, it has a lot in it. Namely, vitamin D, we have got 30 zinc. There's a reason why they've put 30 zinc. Did you see 30 zinc in Andro tea? No. Andro tea does not have the 30 zinc. Okay? We also have vitamin C. Actually, vitamin C is the king. You realize almost all our products, we have vitamin C in it. Then we have what we call the elderberry. Ladies, we are going to go deeper, and gentlemen, to understand why vitamin C, why vitamin D3, why the elderberry, and also why do we give zinc. Let's start with the elderberry extract. You see how it is displayed. By the look alone, you feel like, why don't they first bring the physical berry and you chew it physically? But you're saying this is extracted in form of a powder. It supports the immune system and potentially alleviates cold and flu. Ladies and gentlemen, cold and flu are most cases viral infections. And by the time you introduce this antioxidant with a high content of elderberry in them, then the fight you've been having, a child going to school, coming back with a cough, coming back with a cold, probably will have to end today. We are also saying it supports blood sugar regulation. Okay? Just like you say, kids love sugar. Kids love sweet things. And you know very well that the sweet things that they like is much more associated to glucose level. And at creation, we are so smart and wise enough to bring elderberry so that it is able to regulate the level of sugar this child is going to take. Are we together? Are we learning? OQATA. Those who are sleeping, wake up. Ladies and gentlemen, we also look at immune system, rich in antioxidant and vitamins, particularly vitamin what? Vitamin C. Vitamin C has a very high level of antioxidant in it, which are known to boost the immune system. Okay? We know we kept talking about what we call free radicals, and free radicals. When infections enter our body, okay, they lose out to what we call free radicals. And these free radicals move everywhere. They're like molecules. They're not balanced. They're moving everywhere. And their movement causes problems to us. So it is that this vitamin C, which is acting as an antioxidant to remove this oxidative stress away. We're also looking at cold and flu relief. I've already talked about this up there. This extract reduces the severity and the duration. Severity and what? If at all. We are not saying this child might not contract what? Cold and flu. We are not saying by the time you give them immunity, they are going to completely for the rest of life not suffer from cold and flu. No. Chances are the immunity can go down and they will still get this cold and flu. But what are we saying? The elderberry extract does. It reduces the severity, but again, how long this child suffers from cold and flu. If you are supposed to be 7 days, chances are it can reduce to 3 days and the child becomes fine. That is the importance of that particular extract. Okay, we're also saying it's an antioxidant. It has an antioxidative property in it. It contains flavonoids and antioxidant that helps neutralize free radicals. I talked about free radicals. Okay, and they're saying it is stimulated by the production of cytokines, which are important in fighting infections and the same way protecting cell damage. We know very well how we get infections. We are saying how the body is made. We start from what? From cells, isn't it? Then to tissues, to organs, then to last one is system, then to the body. Are we together? What happens that at any one point these free radicals enters our body, they will not straight away go to the body. What they're focusing at is to first weaken the From the what? From the source. Where life begins from. Life begins from the cells. And you're saying the moment the cells are damaged, chances are the tissue will struggle, organ will not start working, system will fail, and before you know it, the person will die. But you're saying, what does this elderly berry do? They are able to neutralize and also protect from the damages of the cells. If we protect the cell damage, trust me, the body won't have any issue in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, we used to look at digestive health. It contains fibers that makes probiotics. Are you together? That same elderly berry has got fiber in it. And you know, fiber food helps to ease digestion. The moment you throw them in the tummy, the body is able to extract what is necessary. For example, let's look at pineapple. Okay, it has got a lot of fiber in it. Okay, let's look at mangoes. When you're taking mangoes, don't take the mango using the teeth. Get a knife, cut it, and let all the content get where? In the stomach. The body will pick what they need. And then, you know, it has a thread-like structure, right? So the thread-like structure is going to be deposited in the bowel. The moment that deposited in the bowel, there's not going to be any compaction of the stool. And before you know it, when you go back there, you're going to have very good activity without any hardship of constipation. That is naturally. But we're saying this also helps because of the prebiotic. A prebiotic is the kind of food that promotes good bacteria within the gut. Are we together? And we are looking at elderly berry to be one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and see vitamin C. Can you all say it together? Vitamin C is an essential nutrient for children, supporting their immune system, nervous system, tissue growth, repair, and also act as an antioxidant. When you talk about tissue growth repair, you know very well you can never stop yourself from getting exposed to what? To any accident or any damage or even a wound in your body. And that's why when somebody has, let's say, a wound in the mouth, they will tell you take what? Salt or vitamin C. Are you together? Why? It is able to regenerate or make sure the wound heals much more faster and they repair the lost tissues. Okay? It also helps so much in absorption of what? Of iron. You know very well, we talked about a child needing iron. Okay? We give iron to avoid anemia. Are we together? But then, this iron needs to be absorbed in the body. So what helps you, or what helps a child to see that the iron is absorbed is vitamin what? Vitamin C. Ladies and gentlemen, it's also very good to boost our immune support or support our immune system. It is a vital and healthy immune system booster. It helps the body fight off infection and potentially reduce the prevalence or reduce the occurrence or reduce the frequency of colds and flu. Time and again, when I was so much actively working in pharmacy, people come say, I want vitamin C, I have cold and flu. I want vitamin C, I have cold and flu. You don't have to ask them, why are these people taking vitamin C? The most important part of this, it actually reduces the what? Frequency of cold and flu. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we're also looking at antioxidant protection. We talked about this. Neutralizing free radicals that can damage the cells. We talked about that. Nervous system support. Okay? It is also very good in aiding the neurons and the neurotransmission, which is important function in what? In what supports the waking up, the talking, the movement. Is what I drew earlier as the neurons. The information, the coordination of all the information that happens in your body is about the neurons. So if you don't support the health of the neurons, then trust me, there's going to be a little bit slowness in learning, in walking, in talking, and you don't want to see your child taking long to talk. You don't want to see your child taking long to even walk. By the time your child reaches 4 years and they're still seated, what do you think is going to go in your brain? A lot more other things will go in your brain. Probably maybe you think you're bewitched, or probably you think maybe a child has some chronic conditions. But again, you can only start that as early as at the age of 2 years. Are we together? Are we learning? Great. Then you're talking about tissue growth and repair. Vitamin C is very essential. Why? Because it helps in the what? In the skin. In any case, there's a damage, the tissue will easily grow and it will repair it. But also help in the bones and the blood vessels. Are you together? It aids in the wound healing and help repair tissues in any case of any injury. You realize the importance of vitamin C is way much more than just mentioning the name vitamin C. Are we together? So, let's go ahead and see. This is what we call vitamin B complex. What do we mean when we say vitamin B complex? It has got a number of vitamin B's in it. Are we together? The complex is like a combination of so many vitamins in it. Number one is called vitamin B1. And ladies and gentlemen, trust me, no matter how much you struggle, unless otherwise you go pharmaceutical, you might get them one by one, and probably maybe not in one pharmacy. The combination of those vitamins. But again, you wouldn't want to give a pill burden. Do you know what we call a pill burden? A pill burden is like putting like 10 different types of medication, and you want to give this child. You think a child is going to allow it? No. Even if there's supplements, you cannot collect like about 10 different types of vitamins. Say, no, a vitamin you have to take. That's going to be a pill burden to this child. So what do? Vitamin B, one helps promote growth and strengthen the kid's nerves and muscles. A child has to grow with that strength, that immunity that gives them the ability to play and run around. Are we together? Then we also look at vitamin B2, what we call riboflavin. It promotes the production of healthy red blood cells. Are we together? Where around your area are you going to say, I'm going to this pharmacy, particularly buy this vitamin B2, so that I'm able to get a good quality red blood cells. Ladies and gentlemen, number 3, we have vitamin B3. All these are complexes of vitamin that are very essential. What does this do? It helps the body convert fats and carbohydrates into energy that the body can use to move around, to play around. You know, children, they will never relax until it is night hours. In fact, when the night breaks, it is a very big disappointment to the children. Why? They hate to sleep. They always want to run around, left, right, center. But they need a lot of energy for them to move. Okay? And you know very well, almost all the fruits are having a source of carbohydrate in them. Are we together? Are we learning? But then, we need to convert this carbohydrate into what? Into energy. We take a lot of fats. The body manufactures its own fats. They're all deposited in the body. But then, they are supposed to be converted into what? Into energy. Are we together? So then, it is the vitamin B3 that is going to take that responsibility to convert the carbohydrates, the fruits we are eating, into energy. Are we together? So when you think you've taken what you've taken, let's say maybe an apple, and then apple is sweet, it has glucose in it, but then there's a lot of conversion that's going to take place. And if you don't have vitamin B3, do you think it will be converted to energy? And sometimes when you feel so tired, so feel weak and everything, because you failed to take the B3 in. You might be taking a lot of fruits, but then you lack the what? The B3 to convert it to energy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have vitamin B5. Okay? Vitamin B5 is used in metabolism of fats and carbohydrates. It also helps the body make red blood cells and also the adrenal hormones that regulates metabolism, immune system, and also the blood pressure. Metabolism is the breakdown, okay? So we are saying The moment you take this vitamin B5, it is able to break down the fats and the carbohydrates. But you know very well, we talked about vitamin B what? Vitamin B3, which converts into energy. But again, before the conversion happens, it has to be what? It has to be broken down. Are you together? So, the only breakdown happens by vitamin B12. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have what we call pyridoxine, or the vitamin B6. It promotes healthy brain development in kids. It's also connected to the chemical like serotonin and also norepinephrine, which helps regulate mood, normal blood function, and stress response. Are you together? Do you agree with me that a child can get moody? Okay? Do you agree with me that the moment you are annoyed, you're going to have your adrenaline, the hormones that comes from, where is it? The adrenal hormones is produced. And that's where you're going to see the reaction of this person in their face. When the adrenaline gets high, okay? That's why they say some of us who come from west of the Nile, or the low men, you don't joke around with them. You just annoy them before you know it, there's a slap on your face. Because the adrenaline cannot just wait longer. Are we together? So that's why they fear people from our side. Because our adrenaline is always ready to attack. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, so it is just the vitamin B6 that is responsible to make sure your adrenaline is very, very active all the time. We have vitamin B7, which is called biotin. Ladies, can I hear you say biotin? Biotin. Every other ladies, even the gentlemen, you're not excluded, you need biotin every single day in your life. Why do you think so? For example, for the kids, it promotes growth of the healthy nails, hair, and just like we said, the brain can fully mature at the age of 5. Trust me, at the age of 3, the child's nails is also very soft. Their skin is also so fragile. Are we together? So you still need the biotin to help this child have very strong nails, amazing hair, and also the skin should really be firm enough. Are we together? And also, this is possible because of vitamin B7. So a number of times we shall be talking about vitamin B7. Vitamin B7. Even if we don't mention biotin, you should know that we're talking about what? Vitamin B7 or biotin. Okay? At the beginning, we mentioned what the child would need. And our number one on the list was folate. Okay? We are saying it is very crucial in brain development and function and can reduce the risk of neurotube defects. Who remembers the photo of the neurons I drew here? What I drew as what communicates or gives you information. Are we together? That is what we call a neuron. Ladies and gentlemen, every other person has a neuron. If you pinch your body like this, it is a neuron that will tell you that, no, there's danger here. Okay? So then, we are saying the only thing that can help the development and the function of that neuron very well, or to avoid the defects, or to avoid the damage of the neuron, is only vitamin B9. Excuse me. And also saying, last but not least, on the list, on this page, is called vitamin B12. Do you see the number of vitamins we have? When you pick a tin of kiddie immunikiddies and you look through, you're not going to miss all this list in the list. I mean, all these items on the list. Are you together? And you're not talking just because you have to talk all the ingredients you need, but we're talking because it is existing all in one immunikiddies. Are you together? Ladies and gentlemen, vitamin B12 called cobalamin. It supports the brain development, nerve health, and also red blood cells. The production of the red blood cells is much more necessary because of this important vitamin. But we're also saying the deficiency can lead to developmental delays, neurological problems, and anemia. Okay? If a child's growth, or you see a child is stunted, okay? Are we together? Do we have people who are stunted here? Are we together? For the sake of clarity, can we all stand up maybe? We can stand up, because I'm even seeing others sleeping. I don't think anybody short next to you. Are you together? Chances are, when you are growing, it's okay, you can sit down, because this was just for the sake of people who are sleeping. Yeah, so that you're able to stretch. When you are growing, you lacked what's called cobalamin. It was not enough. And that's why you question your height. And you ask your mother, what happened to me? And the mother cannot explain to you what happened. Are we together? So then, for you not to have the same gene of children having the same height like you, what do you need to do? Make sure vitamin B12 is on a daily to them. So that they can do what? They can grow taller, isn't it? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and we see more. Vitamin D. Where else do we get source of vitamin D? Every single time we teach, I think you should be so much conversant with this. Vitamin D, and that's why you see the D is in between what? The sun. Okay? How many of you were here earlier? By around 6:30, you are already here. Raise your hand up. Up. How many? Like 10, 20? Beautiful. Can we give a round of applause for these guys? So, these people, chances are they're going to leave at around 9 p.m., right? Or 8:30. Are we together? Somebody was already laughing. Are we together? When do you think they're going to expose themselves to the sun? Okay? Chances are they might not expose themselves to the sun. So where are they going to get the source of vitamin D? We are not saying from the lights, okay? Somebody says electricity or even gas. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very important. Wake up in the morning. If you're here, yesterday I was so much touched by one of our trainers' statement. He said, please, even if you wake up and reach here early enough, get time and go out there, exchange oxygen. Are we together? Why? Not because you have to go up there and stand for no reason. Chances are you're going to tap on vitamin D. Are you together? Don't stay in your car all the time as you're coming here, Madam Florence. Don't stay in your car in the parking all day. Get out to the sun. There is a reason you should expose yourself to the sun. In fact, if you expose yourself to the sun, you're also going to expose yourself to allergens, which will even help you to build immunity that can fight cough. I'm not a preacher. Are we together? But it is very necessary for every one of us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about vitamin D. It helps the body absorb what? Are we in the same lesson? Somebody saying magnesium. It helps the body to absorb calcium and regulate phosphorus. We take calcium, isn't it? Which product has calcium in it? Muscle bone care. Congratulations. I think you guys are learning. Our training here is not for nothing, isn't it? Okay, please, can we give a hand over? I want applause for the PHPC. Our calcium is much more rich in one of our products called muscle bone care. Okay? Yesterday, I didn't know how badly people need muscle bone care. At 10 p.m. in the night, I delivered muscle bone care. 10 p.m. in the night, somebody said, no, I need it. And I had to deliver at 10 p.m. But then, if that person does not expose themselves to vitamin D, the meaning of taking calcium might not be there. Are we together? Why so? Because absorption of the calcium is much more high because of the help of vitamin D. So that means if you take vitamin D, you expose yourself to the sun, chances are the absorption is going to be much more higher than somebody who takes it and they're staring up here, and before you know it, they say, but why is it not working? Because there's something you're not doing. So vitamin D is very, very important to help absorb the calcium. And you know the importance of the calcium, right? To the body, to the brain, to the bones, to the joints, to the ligaments, and to use what? To your muscles as well. And we're saying the kids need it. Why? It prevents what we call rickets. Do you remember what rickets are? Do you know kids whose legs were like this? Do they still exist? Maybe yes. But this is the right time for us now to avoid and prevent what we call rickets. Are we together? So now you have many other reasons as to why you should give this vitamin D. When the calcium is absorbed, you are preventing rickets, a condition that causes weakness of the bones, deformities, and other related bone diseases. That's what we call rickets. But it also helps strengthen the immune system and can help to reduce the risk of certain type of bone diseases. There's what we call osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is the bone disease. But then you cannot know where they're coming from. Or you cannot know why that bone is getting inflamed. That is one of the reasons you should highly give vitamin D. It also boosts the immune system. It helps the innate immune system, the body's first line of defense. We're saying the first line of defense. As this child is growing up, we need to build their body's immunity. And their first line of defense can only be from a source of vitamin D. Okay? This increases the production of antimicrobial peptides. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also looking at beta defense 4. These peptides act by disrupting the cell what? The cell what? The cell membrane of invading pathogen, help them eliminate them. Listen carefully. If this is what you call a cell, the pathogens or the infections that come to the body, they also have a structure. Are we together? But in the structure, there's what we call a membrane. In their cell, there's what we call cell membrane. And what does this vitamin D do? It disrupts. It disrupts the what? The cell membrane of the invading cells. If you get cough and flu, if you get an infection coming out of this child, if you get any condition, there must be a causative agent. And what does vitamin D do? They come handy to disrupt the formation of the cells of that. And you know very well, the moment a cell dies, the end result of the body is also death, isn't it? It does not only apply to human beings, it also applies to the pathogens or maybe the infections that come through. Are you together? Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at vitamin D supplement reduces the risk and severity of respiratory tract infection in children, including those that are caused by what? Viruses. What are some of the respiratory tract infections caused by viruses? Chorus answer. Pneumonia? That's wrong. Pneumonia is caused by bacteria. Now, we have cough and flu, isn't it? These are what you call upper respiratory tract infection. Tract infection, or maybe upper respiratory or respiratory tract, is from the nose to the eye. And what helps you to breathe? Respiratory is from the word to breathe, isn't it? And we're saying respiratory tract, it is that line, okay? The pipe that allows you to do what? To breathe from the nose to the lungs, isn't it? So along the tract, an infection can enter there. And they start to harbor them, they start to survive. The moment they survive, they become a problem. And that's why we get cold, we get flu, and we get cough. Okay? But we're saying vitamin D reduces that risk of any infection caused by viruses that can get into the what? Into the respiratory tract. Are we learning? Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and see. Vitamin, can you say it louder? Yes, vitamin E is the what? Is the king in this. Are we together? Antioxidant vitamin with several forms. But alpha-tecphenol is only used by humans. This form of vitamin A, tocopherol, are you together? Is a highly concentrated form of vitamin E. Are you together? And also, scavengers lose electrons, also known as free radicals, that can cause damage. It also enhances immune function and prevents clot forming in the heart and also arteries, since it is a good fat. What other good fat do we know besides vitamin E? Ladies and gentlemen, are we together? Of our products, Ruth, which other good fats do you know? Omega-3. Are we together? Time and again we talked about omega-3 as good what? As good fats. And these good fats, they what? They prevent clots. Or they stop the bad fats from forming. What we call the bad fats anyway, because there's no good and there's no bad fat. But they are actually fats. Cholesterol are actually cholesterol. Are you together? But we're saying vitamin E, which is especially the tocopherol, is the one that's responsible to avoid or prevent the clots, as one of the most beautiful and a good fat that we need to consume. And it is one of the products we have in our immune kits. The body also needs vitamin E to boost its immune system so that it can fight off invading bacteria and viruses. One of the important. But also brain development, essential for neurological health. We talked about neurons over and over in our discussion today. Are you together? So the neurons is what transmits information. So it's very good for that neural health. We're also saying skin. Ladies, do you agree with me that you always try as much as possible to use vitamin E for your skin? Have you ever seen vitamin E oil? Have you ever seen vitamin E capsules? They are very good for your skin. Okay? When you're focusing on having a good skin, you realize every other person will tell you, do this, do this. Other people even try getting vitamin E in their jelly. Why? Because they need good skin. But ladies and gentlemen, you know there is garbage in, garbage out. It is very important. The moment you're fighting so hard, have a very pretty skin, focus on also getting the what? The dirt from the inside. And that's where vitamin E also helps so much. Then you look at the visual. Visual is basically to help with the eyes. The antioxidant property of vitamin E plays a role in maintaining very clear and very good vision. Are you together? And then you're also saying it is very good, it helps in protecting the cell in the eyes from free radicals and oxidative stress. You realize that almost all that our ingredients do, they're focusing on the free radicals, they're focusing on oxidative stress, and that's where the source of problem starts from. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk about zinc 30. Okay? Zinc what? First put aside the zinc that is in what? In 100T. Zinc 30, it is 30 because it is a common dosage. Are you together? We're giving it at 30 because it is a common dosage. Very vital for children, growth and development, but also cognitive function and physical growth. And you know very well, zinc is very, very good to help such students to grow their development in shorter and frequent infections and impaired cognitive function. When this child is exposed to frequent infections, their brain development is actually questionable. Then it is very important you add on zinc to their what? Their diet. Support immune system. We talked about this, how important it is to aid the activity and immune cells that also fight infections, inclusive of colds and flu. Physical growth, we talked about this. Cognitive development is basically to do with the brain. Anything to do with cognitive, it attaches to what? To the brain. And you realize all that you talk about immunity it is focusing on entire immunity of the child. And when this is done to the child, then your child is going to have a happy life. We are also saying it's very good for wound healing. We talk about the tissues. It helps so much and speeds up the wound healing. Okay? Zinc supports various enzymes function involved in metabolism and contributing to overall energy production. Are you together? We talked about energy at the end. At the beginning. But also we discussed about digestion. Okay? And also appetite. Mothers are struggling with your children not eating very well. Then it's also one of the ways. The moment you boost their appetite, chances are they're going to eat almost everything that you give them, and before you know it, the natural way to boost their immunity is catered for. Are we learning? Yes. Are we together? Yes. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have iodine. Can you get iodine from Nakasero? No. It is an essential nutrient the body cannot produce on its own. Listen to that carefully. They say the body cannot produce what? And yet it is very essential to us. A key mineral for health function of the child, thyroid. We all have thyroid. Are you together? A thyroid gland uses iodine to produce thyroid hormones. You see that connection? You know that in the moment you don't have the iodine, the thyroid glands will be dormant. Isn't it? And then the thyroid hormones will never be produced. And if we don't produce the thyroid hormones, brain development and cognitive function is going to be questionable. Are you seeing the coordination? Beautiful. We are saying adequate iodine intake supports neuron formation, cognitive skills development, and maintaining memory and very, very good learning capacity. Are you together? Then you see that if at all the source is from iodine, then you can never raise your child's learning capacity. Are we together? Beautiful. We're also saying growth and development. Iodine plays a very significant role in regulating growth, metabolism, and also bone development. You know that a child will need everything that you talk about, all the ingredients that you talk about. Are we together? Ladies and gentlemen, those who are sleeping, they're going to actually stand on their own until we finish our training. Isn't it? That those who are even supporting their head. Okay? Anyway, let's go ahead. We are also looking at calcium. Calcium is crucial for the children's bodies in building strong bones and teeth, also in proper functioning of the muscles. We talked about nerves and also the heart. It is very important for you to actually have the heart muscle of your child built in from the beginning. So I'm online, but then I have a friend who is struggling. The child is already in danger. They have to go under operation of the heart. But if you can only do immune kit to support the heart muscles, you would have avoided about 7 to 8 million for heart surgery. Are you together? Ladies and gentlemen, we're also looking at the teeth. The bone health is a primarily building block for bone and teeth, making it essential for their growth and development. That is iodine for us. Ladies and gentlemen, can you give a very big round of applause for ourselves? A very big one if you can give it. A very big one. We've been here for 1.5 hours. Thank you so much. Now, what are some of the benefits to our kids? Why do we need to take immune kiddies? Okay, we are looking at support overall health. We talk about that. Support eye health. We talk about that. Promotes bone health. Such an amazing thing. Supports immune health. Support brain development. What reason do we have for not giving out immune kiddie every single day? Are you together? It is a product that you don't have to question, why do I need to give this? It is not like Super Focus. Super Focus might only focus on the what? On the brain function. But this one is the entire immune development. And for some reason, get on your social medias, get on your platforms, and make sure this is #1 product. It should actually be the top-selling product because every individual does what? Needs such a product. Ladies and gentlemen, important notes to take. How many do you take? Those who have been giving. Anyway, you're going to steal my answer now. How many have you been giving? Okay, as a dosage? 2 per day. You can do it in divided doses. Say maybe 1 in the morning, one in the night. But trust me, you don't have to advise this mother not to leave it with what? With the child. This child is going to eat this thing, all of them in 1 second. Are you together? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, suitable for children aged 2 years and above. Consult your health provider. If you're not sure, we are always available and ready to help. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give ourselves a very big round of applause for attending our training? Thank you so much. If there's nothing else, I want to